last night episode was something to unpack and swallow. My thoughts are not going to be in order, but I do want to get this out. I think I want to get two things out. One, Julie getting Ethan and her mess is getting on my nerves, because she knew what she was doing that last episode by taking him to the ruins, because she was taking somebody to the ruins that she knew wasn't going to tell her no. When she didn't get the answer she wanted to get out of Randall, she drugged her little brother there. Yes, I did say drug. And I don't mean like drugged. She drugged him. I mean she took him to the ruins. And I know that's not a popular phrase to use, but I don't like dragged. I'm sorry. I just don't. Oh, it might be three things. Because when he told her that I am jumping, that, oh, I forgot. Well, I'm going to just keep going. When he told her that she was a story walker, and I seen he was a little apprehensive. He should have stayed apprehensive and not said anything, because the last time she used him, it ended up in some mess. The second time she's using him is back in some mess, because he told her she was a story walker and she couldn't change the story, but she ends up changing the story, because that transformation of how she looked with the shorter hair, then she looked older. I was like, who is this 29-year-old woman running towards Jim? And then I was like, when I first watched it, I was like, did he notice that she aged? Like, did he notice there was a difference? But he noticed like the cut on her face. The other thing, I'm gonna just jump out there, when Fatima told Ellis that she's seen the creatures and who they were, that they were the people of the village and they sacrificed their kids to live longer. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's a bum deal, because if that's the best you can do as far as living quote unquote forever, you should have went on and died, because you can't even leave the spot where you habitate. Like, you have to trap your food where you living. You can't go outside. Even the boy in white can go outside. He was in Camden. I didn't even believe Tabitha was in the real world, but the boy in white was still able to go out of the area that you are habitating in right now. You can't leave. Then at night you look like fish demons. Like, what kind of... It was a bum deal. That's all I'm gonna say. That's a bum deal. If that's the best, at least I've watched horror movies when people make deals, they are rich, they are trying to keep like their goods. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but if you're gonna do something that you have no business doing, make it worth it. Like, you trapped there, you sleep underground. It's a whole lot of a lot of y'all stuck in 1960s. Like, all the clothes you steal is from like 1950, 1960. Like, it's like when they were around Smiley being rebirthed. Like, I've seen like 2 or 3 of the creatures that was probably in clothes that might have been when they settled there, or like the 1800s. I'm to the point, like, y'all killing people. Why don't y'all steal their clothes, like up-to-date clothes? Like, can we get at least 1990 if you just don't stay in a decade? Can we get a little closer to a decade that resemble the people you eating? Or can we something? So to me, that was just a bum deal to find that out. But as I said in my previous video, season 1, I kind of thought it was a sacrifice thing, but I thought it was like for riches or something like that, but it was actually because they want to live long and live underground, from what I can tell. They did get the green light for season 4. So season 4, I want to see what story they are going to tell about Tilly. If Elgin doesn't die, like, how are they going to say all this happened? Because if Elgin dies, they can probably conjure up a story saying that he was the one to kill Tilly and then try to kidnap something, they can blame it on, so they wouldn't blame it on Fatima. If they tell the truth, I'm gonna be shocked, because as I stated in my last video, that people have to realize they are capable of doing everything that all the people in the past done, because I feel like if they don't kill, the creatures don't kill and eat you, they'll find some kind of way for you to destroy each other. So if Boyd doesn't kill another monster, another one of them can be pregnant. They can catch somebody else who was lonely, like the guy in Colony House. Like, it's some kind of way. If they don't get you, they're gonna, when they came after Sarah, talking about if you kill this little boy, then y'all will go home. Like, that's the thing. Like, we'll trick you into anything if we can tell you you'll go home. So telling them the truth, I don't think would be a good idea, because it's the hysteria that'll happen that they can't handle the truth. Like, it'll be a whole bunch of hysteria. I can understand why Boyd started that, because his own guilt about people have to go in the box, but it also crossed the line that's not easy to tread, especially when you're in leadership. Because look, when he tried to like punish the guy whose daughter and wife was killed when he was drunk at the bar, like, his anger took over, but he really couldn't do the act of putting him in that box, because that's torture right there. Putting somebody in a box and waiting on those creatures to just rip them apart. So I understood what he was telling Kenny when they were looking for Fatima. Making decisions is not a good thing. Like, he had to hold that from Kenny because he was trying to see and fill out what Father Kashri was trying to tell him about Sarah, which I didn't wholeheartedly, I understood, but I didn't believe that she would have been an asset to them, because she did the same thing Elgin is doing now. Like, they kept what was being done and said to them from everybody. It took her feeling guilt of what she did to Kenny's father and the nurse, because everybody act like they forget the nurse. For her to just like finally say, hey, they have been talking to me, I don't know what to do. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I was about to throw my motto out there and I forgot. My motto is going to be, for this, everybody has an opinion, so do I, and I'm going after mine. I'm going to tell you mine. Another reason why I want to know, like, what is the story that's going to be told is because Kenny had questions on why Fatima was out there by the shed, and Boyd quickly said, huh? And then he was saved by the bell when Ellis, it is way too many E's. Ellis came in and told that he believed that Elgin knew something. Even though there was, my next thing was, even though there was a connection to Tabitha and Miranda, the reincarnation theory that was going online still didn't click with me, because in my thought process, I'm thinking, well, it could be that because Jade and Miranda should have been alive when Miranda and Christopher was alive. So I'm like, it couldn't have been a reincarnation thing. Like, I felt like there was a connection, but it couldn't have been the reincarnation thing, because I'm thinking all of them were in existence at the same time. So, I mean, hey, now they were the original people jumping from body to body and trying to save kids, which some of the Matthews family, their life is still in shambles, because one kid has passed away and the other two, they don't pay attention. And back to the writer saying your beloved characters were going to end up not being sniffing air, not gonna sniff air anymore this season. Again, the only one that has passed away this season that I was like, boo hoo hoo, is Tien Chen. Elgin, at first, I was like, I like Elgin. But after this episode, if he's living, there's nothing that I have no feelings towards Elgin whatsoever. The Matthews family, if Jim is in this loop and he was killed, I don't like anybody in the Matthews family except for Ethan. I'm so sorry. And Ethan is a kid, and I'm sorry. I feel like Ethan at this point is the most smartest person in that family that they keep ignoring. Another reason why the connection didn't click with me, because I'm sorry, I'm still on the wavelength of thinking that the creatures, the kimono lady, and I'm sorry, she kind of proved that when she went down there with them to birth the smiley monster. Shoot, even the children, and they were sacrificed. They're all in cahoots together, because she took Tabitha, I'm so sorry. Now she's Miranda, since there's a connection in my head. She took Tabitha all the way to that cellar. And then, if you're into like supernatural stuff, it's like a thing called the veil. The veil, how I'm going to use it, may not be the correct term, how it should be used, because Victor was down there and Fatima was screaming. He still didn't hear it because he was standing there, feeling guilt about what happened that night. However, but still, it still felt like a game to me, because you sent her down there to feel what Miranda felt, but at the same time it's still a game to me, because she's right there in that root cellar and she still wasn't found in time for the smiley creature not to be born. Isn't that look disgusting? And my thing is this: if these people look anything like they looked when they first settled there, I think I would have ran from that settlement if I seen somebody look like the smiley monster. The creature, whatever. There's no way in the world I would have stayed there knowing somebody looked like him living there. Not I said the cat. I couldn't do it. That's my theory on why I still think it's a game, because when they said something to Sarah, it's the simple fact I can't get over. They were laughing, talking about you'll never find her in time, because their whole intention was for that creature to be revived. So I could be wrong. These are my opinions. Like, that's the way I feel about it. if they were really trying to help, and you're really, just say if they're really against their parents for sacrificing them, and these are their parents that sacrificed them, why would you want one of your parents who sacrificed you to be reborn? Let that joker die, because he died to become a night monster that'll stay in that same piece of land forever and ever. So and then you have me locked up. Okay, anyway, I digress. Boy taking Sarah to go talk to Elgin made sense to me. To have someone who experienced the same thing of being told, if you do this and it's something that doesn't sound right, then you'll go home. That should bring like a sense of common sense to you. Like, okay, everybody was scared of Sarah. Now we know why everybody was scared of Sarah, because they really don't know why Sarah did what she did. They just know she's ostracized from everybody else because she tried to kill a little boy and she killed 3 people. Some people know it's just 2, or because that's what they want to tell. But once she sheds light on why she did it, then, you should be like, okay, you should think differently. Okay, this is why she killed her brother. Could it be this kimono lady is like? But Elgin did not think that way. He just thought, oh, this is a good thing. She has this baby and we all go home. But then my thing is this: why has to be the stipulation of she has this baby? Like, why couldn't she have this baby in the real world? Then on top of that, like, you had to give up your blood to feed this baby. That didn't ring in your head like something is not right? Like, none of this makes sense. And I'm about to jump. That's why I can see why Sarah went to the extremes that she went to. This was at the end of my notes, but I had to jump because, like, now that I'm thinking about this, he was never going to change his mind. Like, all the pieces were lining together for you to say, hey, this doesn't sound right. But, and you weren't even eating when you gave up this blood. Like, you were stumbling. She was able to push you into a bookshelf. And I know lack of nourishment could make you think crazy. But, okay, let me not jump. I'll get back to it because it's other things that I want to say that doesn't make sense why you would even let. And I want to know, is she part of the town too? Because if you're part of the town and you did that same deal, why you don't have any skin? Why does it look like you're deteriorating in real time? Okay, let me get back to what I'm trying to say. Because I got to get up and go to work in the morning. My next thing is the little girl that led her to the shed. Is she the person that keeps jumping from body to body? Child, that's what I want to know. Because, like, when she knelt in front of Tabitha, it was like a slight resemblance. So and that would make sense because she's not gonna look the same every body that she jumps in. So I guess just the connection, you knowing that your mother's body, I guess that would be it. But I felt like it was a fake resemblance when they were facing each other. But I digress. Back to Elgin's thought process, because this is just making me, it just irks my soul. I just cannot believe this. It makes me angry because when we get to the point of you gonna tell me you gonna beat my hand, like bash my hands with a hammer, you have a rusty nail, this rusty nail sticks to your skin, you have pliers, you have this, this is not war, sweetheart. It's war, but it is not Iraq or any of them. You can have all the information you need. Once you start talking about you're gonna start torturing me, the kimono lady just gonna have to come after me. I'm gonna just tell you that, because I'm not ending up with a busted hand and one eye. Just keep your secrets. You just gonna have to do what you need to do to me. I'm just letting you know. I still don't like Kenny being in the dark, because Father Kashri coming to Boyd has a point. You know, Kenny, you just got Kenny back as a deputy, and just to keep it from him, because at first I thought this episode was going to show that they were going to tell him Acosta, because like I wanted to see how this was going to play out this last episode, like everyone else who watches this show. I thought it was going to come out, they were going to tell Kenny and Acosta what happened. They were going to be a part of the group. Because in the last episode, Donna asked Acosta for her trust. So I was like, okay, maybe she'll become part of... I hope she doesn't, because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't like Acosta. She has to go. She's getting on my nerves. She is, to me, like Elgin. Like, they cannot think out of the box living there. Like, they think they can make... and I hate to say regular decisions. I guess I can say that because they're living in a supernatural type of area. So you can't think in this place like you're working a 9 to 5. And that's her problem. She needs to take off that uniform, because she still think that boys should care that she's a cop. Those creatures didn't care you were a cop, because they kept coming after you kept shooting. But you didn't even realize bullets did not affect anybody there. Like her and Elgin do not think of how this place is set up. Even Donna told her that she could not tell her how this place messes up your mind. But you only wanted to admit that it was an issue when you were trying to get your gun back, that you were trying to shoot Victor with no bullets, Miss Barney Fife. That's why I say she says she has to go. That's why Sarah had to go to the extremes. that chick right there. Sarah had to go to the extremes with Elgin, because to me, Elgin is just like that dude who's lonely. He'll get all them hemmed up. And what ticks me off is you had sense at first. Like, you understood the assignment when you tried to get Elgin and Fatima to the clinic at night when he got stabbed by Dale. Like, you understood the assignment at first, and then all of a sudden you just do a whole 360 and this is going to help you, get home. And that's what I felt like Sarah meant by she thinks that they prey on people like him and her, because it's the naivety about it all. Like, you want to help, there's a problem, but you're not thinking like logically. You're not analyzing your thought process after, I want to help. But when I watched the episode when it aired Sunday morning, I could not believe what I had watched. I was slightly disappointed in a sense, because those extra minutes after the episode was premiere another show that I'm not gonna watch. Henry reaching out to Victor was so endearing to me. Like, I felt like the conversation with Jade revealed so much to him that he tried to go. I'm glad he tried to go back and take another shot at it to get his son, because I know how it feels to be disappointed, you know, when you can't get at your kids. You know, I'm a mother myself. When that disconnect is there and you feel like sometimes you don't know your kid, I understand that. I'm glad he didn't get you know, discouraged. He went and took a crack at it after he talked to Jade. That was a good moment. Victor taking it to heart that it's all his fault that his mother and his sister did not live, because he went and opened his mouth. Is a very human and childlike emotion. That guilt bugged him so bad, because, you know, he felt like if he had to shut his mouth, his mother and his sister would have been living, because it really was supposed to be Christopher that went in that tree. And I'm still wanting an answer for that, because I still say that somewhere there is a lie. Because if Christopher really was supposed to go through the tree and sacrifice himself, then the lie was to Miranda and Tabitha that they were supposed to go save the children. I hope that there's an answer to that, because why did Christopher, if both of them tried to save the original husband and wife, if they were trying to save all the kids, why didn't they both have to sacrifice? Why was it just the husband who had to sacrifice? But they keep lying to the mother, saying, oh, you got to save the kids, but she wasn't supposed to save the kids. But okay. The scene where Father Cartry tells Boy that he won't be the same if he tortures Elgin to death was a pivotal moment, because that happens to most people. Like, if you watch The Walking Dead, like Walking Dead when it was in its prime, a lot of things that happened to Rick and the moves he made that were good for him changed him. I'm getting off the subject, but it, like, if you watched it and you remember when he let the one convict go, he took it to heart that if he didn't kill him right then, because he thought the walkers were going to kill him, that Lori wouldn't have died the way she died if he would have handled it right then. And then the way he moved after that, because he felt like he made too many chances by second guessing himself. I was about to say second thinking himself, but second guessing himself, you know, made him move a certain way. And then when he moved that other way, it kind of drove him crazy. So that when it comes down to movies and TV shows, that does happen to the hero quote main character a lot. I want to know why the cicadas keep bugging Randall. Like I said in my other video, it was like every time somebody came, because I'm like, now I'm to the point, was he supposed to kill somebody? That's why these cicadas keep coming. Like, what is the mission for him that these cicadas are still plaguing him and he's fighting against it? I felt like he also knew something when Elgin came to the clinic. The cicadas weren't there, but still, the way he just popped up and then he looked at the duffel bag and then he said, you know, don't let Marielle and Christy catch you in their stuff. So I think in a sense he suspected or knew something. the Polaroid showing the house, boy's house, only convinced Elgin. That's why I'm to the point where, after watching this over and over again to get my thoughts together, because, like, to me, this last episode was exciting and slightly disappointing at the same time, because I thought it was going to be one of those grand finales to get y'all hopped up and pumped up for next season. Season 4, because I've heard on somebody's video that it's not coming out until 2026. But, you know, I thought it was going to give you that drug boost. Like, this is what's going to be season 4. But, no. This is another thing that ticked me off about Elgin. After Boyd tells him, yeah, it was the house that I was gonna buy with that I bought with my house. You know what's missing? The boat. And I had to sit up there and think about it, because I was like, when did y'all get a boat? I thought she was playing with you about the boat, but she had the keys. So I was like, okay, so she had to buy him this boat. He knew it was bull crap, but this dude is still talking about, see, that means we're going home. Again, why does she need to have this demon baby to go home? What? Again, why do you need, like, why does this baby need blood to flourish and nourish? Like, like, Elgin, come on now, dude. I thought he had sense until he started talking when him and Julie got high, and I just lost, after that, I lost all hope for him after that. The exchange between Victor and Henry at the graves, that was a good scene too, because Victor, as grown as he is, still sound like a child. Telling his dad he doesn't have to be his dad anymore. You can forget about him. How he was gonna do that being in the same place, I don't know. And then isn't he sleeping in his room at Colony House? But okay. Yeah, that was just emotional. And then when Henry went after him and said he didn't want to hear him ever saying that, like, your mom tried to protect you, now it's my time to protect you. I like that scene. I loved. Marielle Stinking Butt finally admitting that something is not right and she's been playing house this whole time. There's no way in the world. I'm glad Randall called her out. There's no way in the world that what happened to those three could not bother you at all. I guess when you laid up with somebody, you don't have to worry about other, things getting to you, because you have something to occupy your mind. But still, like, I don't see how you can go through that mess you just went through and then you act like it not bother you at all. But whatever. Back to, I would have gave up all the information you needed once you start pulling all this rusty, dusty stuff out of a tool bag. It would. That after I seen that, that just made me super duper angry with Elgin, because okay, what were you gonna get out of this besides the lie going home? Like, you, and I hate to say it that way, because only reason why I guess I'm saying this way, because he's not thinking. She couldn't promise him anything but that lie. But Elgin hung on to it because he's thinking, you know what? After thinking about this, he probably wanted some type of hope after Julie said that place was never going to let them go. And I'm sorry, I was thinking that when Tabitha left. And it's like some movies and TV shows that you've seen, it's like a revolving door. You may escape out of that dimension, that portal, whatever, but something will veer you back to that spot. That might be why he was trying to hold on, because of what Julie said, that place will never let them go. And the facial expression he had when she said that, he tried to cover it up with, she's not good when she's high. She's not, she's not a happy weed head. But I mean, I'm with her. I was with her when, what's her mama's name? Tabitha left. I'm gonna keep saying this. So Acosta has to go next. She has to go, because she is another person trying to play by rules that you cannot play in the land of From. She keeps trying to do that, and I'm about tired of her. And then, like, when everybody ran up on Sarah, Merk and Elgin, like, the look on her face, and she's gonna blame it on they shouldn't have kept her, whatever the case may be. However, I'm sorry, she had to do it. She had to do it because she was right. I was worried about her when she said she already let that place take her soul and she wasn't gonna let it take Boy. I was seriously worried, because that was concerning. And after I seen her with that screwdriver, when she looked at that screwdriver, that's when I would have gave all the information up. It wouldn't have been, oh, I can't tell, you still. It would have been, you know what, Sarah? If you walk down those stairs, go out that door, keep straight, and don't turn until you get that root cellar. She right down there. That's the information I would have gave after I would have seen her looking at that rusty screwdriver, because you not finna touch me. And then on top of that, if she would have kept going, I would have yelled help before she'd get her first lick in. That's just me. Finding out the numbers in the bottles were actually musical notes was shocking to me, but it was super shocking because why didn't Jay figure this out and he plays the violin? That was shocking to me right there. I blame Acosta for Sarah killing Elgin, because I believe he's dead. Because if she wasn't down there arguing with people, they would have known where Sarah was. I'm sorry. Like, you still can't leave Sarah alone from what this shows. Like, the only time you can leave her alone is in her house at night. And the daytime, you may, well, before this, because like I said, I could have sworn Boy said he would put her down if she made the wrong move. This was motivation for her to come back as I lost my soul, Sarah. So I blame Acosta for Boy not being on his tippy toes and leaving Sarah, because that's one person I don't think he was really, trying to let wrong. Like, I can understand, even though I didn't like the fact they weren't on top of the things with Fatima, I kind of understand it, because he didn't know how to tread with his son's wife. He knows what he would have done, but his son is another person that's so in love that they weren't thinking straight, because he was willing to be in that shed with her, with giving birth to that thing, not realizing that she was dangerous at that point in time. Boy understood she was dangerous, but Ellis didn't. I'm tired of people thinking that Boy was just so enamored with Sarah. The main reason why he kept Sarah is because of Father Khatri. That was the main thing. Father Country said she had a connection like nobody else there. She is credited for helping him get some things done around there. That is an asset at the moment. So, whatchamacallit pleading with Sarah to talk to, which turned out to be the most dumbest thing that he did before he died, because I'm gonna keep saying he died because I don't see how you can live with a rusty screwdriver in your eye and a big old, you are not Carl from The Walking Dead. You're not him. I just lost my train of thought, but she was an asset. I don't know what's gonna happen to her the next season, but basically she helped Boyd with some of the things that was there. I'm going back to when Elgin was being flooded with dumb thoughts by the kimono lady. Like, you let her tell you that you were the reason why Boyd saved the town. You were not. Like, you were so gullible about what this thing was telling you that you actually thought that she was an asset. She's giving you an insight. And I'm trying not to touch on what I really want to say, because the simple fact, you know what, forget it. The simple fact you thought that this thing was an angel really got me right there. Because she looked like she deteriorating in real time. Anyway, that whole thing with Elgin thinking that this kimono lady was really gonna let everybody free. Really, that's the most disappointing thing to me in this episode, the last 2 episodes. Ooh, excuse me. And it's like, they got Sarah with that. They got him with that. So who's next? Then let's go back to Julie. You couldn't do anything. Like, you going back story walking, you weren't going to be able to do anything. Then you slipped up. Used Elgin again, slipped up and did the opposite of what he told you not to do. At this point, he the daddy. You did the opposite of what he told you not to do. You tried to go back and save your dad because he died right there. And he still ended up dying. The guy in the yellow suit, in my opinion, might be the entity that promised them immortality. He threw me for a loop when he said, I told you answers caused consequences. I love to know what that meant. And to find out he was the one that told Jim that I told your wife, you should have told your wife not to dig in the hole, was funny to me. Because that is something I wanted to know from the beginning. Like, was he the lead in this whole story for the creatures? So at least we got a view. We received a view on that, you know. I love to see what's going to happen next season. Whatever season 4, I love to see what it was. I got scared that Boyd was going to die. My thing, I'm going to tell you this. The actor that plays Boyd, Harry Perino, I'm going to try to figure out how to pronounce his last name, because I think they had been pronouncing it wrong for the longest. I think they said Perino for the longest. Perino. He is the only reason why I'm watching this show. I love his acting. I liked him since The Best Man. If he would have died, I was not going to watch a season 4 after I found out he was going to be a season 4. But, him going down there to make sure what that was so important to them, and he found out the Smiley. That's another reason why I feel like it was important for him to find out what that was, because if Elgin gets a chance to live and everybody finds out the creature that Boyd killed was rebirthed by Fatima, proves that you were lied to. It just proves that you were lied to. And you went through all this spiel talking about she wasn't going to die. Okay, she didn't die. But it's still detrimental to everyone else there. That, because wasn't he the lead monster? And then Cowboy Man took over? Like, whether she died or not, you took her based on a lie. And then what she birthed is still going to be detrimental to everyone else. Like, you just screwing up every which way that can be screwed up. In any way a nail can fall out on board, you just help the nail fall out. So that is my take on from season 3, episode 10. I'm thinking about watching The Penguin and coming up with commentary on that. I know I have to binge watch, and I don't know if I'm ready to do that. But I hope people enjoyed my little talking to myself, whoever watches this. I'm definitely going to, when season 4 comes out in 2026, I'm definitely most likely going to have commentary on that. People be safe. When I put something out, I hope somebody watch it. Thank you for watching this, and be safe. Like, share, subscribe, whatever you want to do, and I'm out.